Reported nominal. But the security footage showed the docking tube connecting to nothing while simultaneously showing 847 crew members walking through it. Chen met Captain Walsh in the airlock, flanked by her best security team. Walsh looked exactly as he had 3 years ago. No aging, no changes, still wearing the same uniform. But his shadow was wrong, falling upward and sideways simultaneously. "James," Chen said carefully, "what did you find out there?" Walsh smiled, and for a moment his face seemed to exist in 17 different dimensions at once. "We found the place where mathematics goes to die, Sarah. The void between zeros and ones. The space that reality forgot to fill in." Behind him, his crew filed through the airlock. They looked human, perfectly, identically human. But their reflections in the polished walls showed something else entirely. Something with too many angles and not enough substance. "We brought something back," Walsh continued conversationally, as if discussing weather. "Something that was never supposed to exist in a universe with rules." "What kind of something?" Walsh gestured to a containment unit his crew was carefully wheeling through the airlock. The device was humming with enough energy to power a small city, but Chen's instruments insisted it was completely empty. "We found the original blueprint," Walsh explained. "The rough draft of reality. The universe's first attempt at existence, before it settled on physics and causality and all those limiting concepts." Chen's security team was backing away from the container, their faces pale. One of them was quietly vomiting into his helmet. "James, that thing is impossible?" "Yes, that's exactly what it is. Pure impossibility, refined and concentrated." Walsh's eyes were starlight and void simultaneously. "The universe has been running on the final draft for 13 billion years. We thought it might be interesting to see what the beta version could do." Admiral Sarah Chun had been staring at the sensor readings for 17 minutes, hoping they would change. They didn't. The UES Endeavour, which had vanished into a quantum anomaly 3 years ago with all 847 souls aboard, was requesting docking permission at Luna Station. "Ma'am," whispered Lieutenant Torres, his voice barely steady. "The ship's transponder codes check out. It's definitely the Endeavour." But what, Lieutenant? "According to our sensors, the ship doesn't exist." Chun rubbed her temples, feeling a migraine building behind her eyes. "Explain that in terms that won't require psychiatric evaluation. The ship is physically present. We can see it. We're receiving communications from Captain Walsh. Hell, we can even smell the coffee from their mess hall through the docking tube. But every scientific instrument we have insists there's nothing there. Mass detectors read 0. Gravity sensors show empty space. Even our Mark 7 reality anchors are reporting measurement impossible." Through the observation deck's reinforced windows, Chun could see the Endeavour hanging in space like a metallic ghost. It looked exactly as it had 3 years ago, sleek, angular, proudly bearing the Earth Defense Force insignia. Except for one detail that made her skin crawl. The ship was casting 2 shadows. "Admiral," came Captain Walsh's voice through the comm, sounding perfectly normal and completely wrong at the same time. "Permission to dock? My crew is eager to return home." Chun activated her comm with trembling fingers. "Permission granted, Captain. But I need to know, where the hell have you been?" A pause. Then Walsh's laugh, which somehow echoed from directions that didn't exist. "That's a complicated question, Admiral. We've been everywhere, and nowhere, and somewhere that existed before existence was invented." The docking procedures proceeded normally, which was perhaps the most disturbing part. Airlocks sealed, atmosphere equalized, all systems. The container pulsed, and for a brief moment, Chun could see through the walls of the station, through the planet, through space itself, into the raw mathematics that held everything together. She saw the universe as it truly was, a hastily patched program running on cosmic duct tape and prayers. "Sarah," Walsh said gently, "we need to talk to the Council, because we found something that makes the laws of physics look like helpful suggestions. And we're not the only ones who went looking for it." Chen stared at the man who had returned from the void between existence and nothingness. carrying cargo that shouldn't be possible to contain. How many others, James? Enough to make this universe very, very nervous. As if in response, the Endeavor, which didn't exist according to every sensor, flickered briefly out of phase with reality, revealing glimpses of the place it had been. A place where impossibility wasn't just possible. It was the only thing that made sense.